Do you want to make sure that your applications for a university abroad go smoothly and your documents don't get rejected? Well, I wanted to do the same, and this is my view on the things that you need to look out for when doing a university application. First, let's start with the basics. You need a passport. If you're gonna go abroad, you need a passport, and make sure that your passport is valid for a considerable amount of time. Some countries give you 5 years, some countries give you 10 years on your passport, it depends, but you need to have a passport that is valid for at least 2 to 3 years, because sometimes that is the requirement, that you can't have a passport that is going to expire in a few months or something. That's very important. And then you need your most recent school certificate. So your school certificate can be your high school certificate, or if you're applying for a master's, it will be your university degree. But for any of these certificates, you need to make sure that they are accepted in the country where you want to go to. So that's why one of my previous videos where I mentioned that you need to do your research on the requirements, this is where that plays in. You need to make sure that your certificate abides by the laws and the rules of that country, and that the university can actually acknowledge your certificate. And you can send this back and forth to the university if they permit it to, but sometimes that's not even possible. So make sure you do your research. This means that you might have to translate your certificate. You might have to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to approve your certificate. You might need to go to the Ministry of Education to add some extra papers on your certificate that allow you to even apply abroad. So make sure that you have all the information, and ask around in your own country what is necessary in order for you to go abroad with that certificate to a specific country. Because if you miss just one single stamp on it, it's a reason for the university to decline it, because it doesn't match the previous certificates that they have accepted. And then make sure that you do your language exam. So my main focus was on countries where I could use English, and for those countries you could either do the TOEFL exam or the IELTS exam. I did both, and the TOEFL was a bit trickier because I needed to tell the organizers of the event to send it, or the organizers of the exam to send it over to the university, and that didn't work for me. So I'd much rather take the IELTS exam, where you have the physical certificate on your hands, and you can make copies and send to the university as part of the same package, and you're not dependent on a third-party organization that you don't even know if they're going to properly send your certificate exams or not. And even after you do your language exams, some of the schools require you to do an intake interview. So in these situations, make sure to prepare. Again, be very prepared for these things. So make sure that your language skills are good, and that your knowledge of the course that you're going to apply for is also good. Again, you want to impress them as much as possible. And on the same vein as impressing them through the interview, if you don't have that, you can impress them with extra certificates. So not every school is going to take a look at this, but it doesn't hurt. So let's say for me, I was doing IT, and I already had a portfolio of projects that I'd worked on. I had certificates in IT that I'd worked on. So I sent all of that over. I'm not sure how big of a difference it made, but I sent that over to make me stand out when they look at another student. So if they look at one student that only has their high school diploma, and then they look at me, I have my high school diploma, I have all these different certificates in the same field, I have a portfolio page with different projects in it, they can see that I'm a more engaged student, that I'll be more successful at the university. So that can also change. That's why the preparation is so important. After having all of these documents compiled, that's when the process changes depending on which country you want to go to. So in most cases, I would advise you to go with universities that take care of this for you. But in case that doesn't happen, then you have to follow the following processes on your own. And that's for a different video. But for now, that's all I have for you. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna be uploading more and more videos about my entire journey when studying abroad, finding a job, finding a university, and all the pitfalls that you should avoid. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below, and I hope you achieve your goal.